Hello and welcome to That's Football. It's our lunchtime transfer news update and we've got some big news today. It's not Griezmann. I think Antoine Griezmann's going to actually announce his future by at the opening ceremony for the World Cup today. I think he's going to come in by helicopter, paraglide down and reveal his shirt. That's what I'm nailed on. I think that's going to happen anyway. But we're going to be talking about Anthony Martial. Big news last night. If you follow us on the United Stand as United fans, we've obviously been speaking about it quite a lot, but in a more relevant football world sense, this is a big transfer because it would create a domino effect. And I'm having a Domino's pizza later, actually. Remember, it is the World Cup opening today as well. So we're going to have... in the top right hand corner will take you to a link. We'll take you to our Russia versus Saudi Arabia live stream watch along, which is going to be our first watch along of the World Cup. So join me for that, 4 p.m. UK time. Really looking forward to it. I've got some cracking topics to discuss as well if it's a boring game. Favourite crisps, chocolate bar, TV box set, film, World Cup team, and anything you want to discuss. But let's get on with this. Anthony Martial, yesterday evening, agent came out and said that he wants to leave Manchester United. Varying reasons, really. Probably the biggest one, Mourinho's treatment of him, the Sanchez signing, the lack of development. He needs to develop. I think many Manchester United fans feel that you can't blame him, really. And, some people think, get rid of him. Whatever you think about it, this is not from the back page of The Sun. This is from his agent. So this has been fed out, obviously, on purpose. Now, the interesting thing this morning is Simon Stone in the BBC has come out and said that, as far as he's concerned, Manchester United have no intention of selling Anthony Martial. Now, there are varying rumours about a sell-on clause, which Monaco get 50%, because that's where United bought Martial from. But I think... even if that's not true, United not wanting to sell Martial, I think is true. He has got a year left on his contract, and then he's got another year because United have got an option of a further year. However, just to give a little bit of an input on transfers and take it out, because there will be Arsenal fans out there will be Chelsea fans, Juventus, Liverpool. There'll be teams that would love Anthony Martial at their club. None more so than Manchester United fans. We all want him to stay as well. But the situation is Manchester United are not in a position of power here. They may want to flex their muscles and pretend they are, but they're not, because Martial, if they keep Martial against his will this summer and they stick him on the bench or whatever, next summer, 1 year away, United are in trouble. Because, they've got the option of a further year, but if they don't let him go next summer, he goes for nothing the summer after that. And also, with 1 year left on his contract, his value will diminish quite substantially. So if United want a decent fee for Martial, it has to go this summer. Now, I'm encouraged by the fact that United don't want to sell him as a United fan. I'm pretty sure that Manchester United, like Manchester United fans, don't want Martial to go. But the issue here is Martial's what he wants to do, and also his relationship with Mourinho, who is the manager of Manchester United and must be backed. Unless they're going to sack Mourinho, which they're not, they have to sack the manager. So what's likely to happen with this? I think ultimately, of course, Anthony Martial could sign a new contract. Of course he could do that. That could happen, and it wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility for that to happen. However, when an agent comes out and says, my client wants to leave, it tends to mean they're going to leave. I think the only reality here is that a lot of United fans do like Martial and would be happy if he signed a club. Kieran Burns says, cleverly by the club, Jose will be gone by Christmas, so it's all good. Well, you know what? From a Martial point of view, if your problem's Jose Mourinho, but you love Manchester United and the fans, it may well be just sign the new contract, get a loan and sit it out for a bit, because that could, Mourinho could be gone in a year. He really could. So I think watch this space with Anthony Martial. Obviously, I don't think Manchester United want to sell him, but if he's adamant he wants to go, they will have to sell him. And Mourinho has already said that himself, that if a player wants to go, I won't stop them. So I think the fans, majority, don't want him to go. I think the club won't want a player to go. I mean, remember that headline from the Daily Mirror when they signed Martial, 50 million down the drain, because the whole deal was about 50 million. And actually, they're inadvertently probably right now, because if we do let him go, it is 50 million down the drain, because he's had glimpses of brilliance, and I think he can be brilliant. But to sell a 22-year-old, I mean, it would just be a mess for United to do that, and it's not really what they're all about. So I hope he stays. I'm sure that's why the club want him to stay, because if he goes elsewhere, it's just egg on your face, isn't it? The fans, majority, want him to stay because he is the sort of player that United should be keeping. But Mourinho is the boss. So watch this space with this. I think Martial's had enough of Mourinho. I think Mourinho obviously has had enough of Martial. And it obviously in many ways is better for all parties if they part ways. Apart from Manchester United fans, that is the problem, of course. Premier League fixtures have come out today. United play Leicester. Big game, first weekend, Manchester City, Arsenal. I have a theory on this, though, because a lot of people, it's pretty much well known in the industry that, and the fans know it as well, that you're never going to get United versus City or United Liverpool or City Chelsea first game of the season, because the TV companies, everything like that, they want to avoid the big fixtures at the start of the season because they want people to get some momentum going first before you get rid of the big game. And obviously there's a lot of interest in the Premier League opening week of the season anyway. Everybody's pumped, everyone's up for it. So you don't need to have your Manchester derby on the opening game of the season, because you need to keep that back for a little bit later. Maybe a cold, wet day in October or something like that, and get your figures up. So that's why it tends to happen. This is interesting, though, because Manchester City Arsenal, is this just another indicator that Arsenal are no longer perceived to be a big club anymore? It's sort of like, yeah, oh look, the balls have come out, it's Man City Arsenal, we'll have to do it again. Nah, don't worry about that. Arsenal aren't that big anymore, and actually people might be quite interested. So Man City Arsenal at the Emirates, Emery's first game, very interesting opening game. And I think if City win that, they've got a very winnable 7 or 8 games after that as well. So we could be seeing another Man City run away with it, unless other teams can stick with them. Let's have a look at some of the other transfer news. Tottenham have offered Aston Villa £15 million for Jack Grealish. I saw this yesterday. In fact, Stan Collymore on Twitter was talking about it. I mean, £15 million for Grealish seems a little bit cheap, but he probably does need to move on now. Villa haven't moved away. Chelsea have got a lot of issues, haven't they? I mean, there's talk of a civil war at Chelsea amongst the players if Conte was to stay. Conte's just sitting pretty at the moment, waiting to be sacked and pick up his compensation. Sarri from Napoli obviously doesn't have a job anymore because Ancelotti's got it. So Sarri to Chelsea is still now very much expected to happen. There was talk of Laurent Blanc and others, but Sarri may finally get his Chelsea job in the next couple of weeks. And Chelsea need that to happen. I keep saying it on this show, actually, that Chelsea will make the biggest indent in the transfer window if Abramovich wants to spend money. People think, Arsenal new manager, they're going to buy players. They will do, but I think Chelsea will bring a higher quality of player in. Burnley want to sign English defender Craig Dawson and striker Jay Rodriguez from West Brom for a combined $28 million. West Brom have got good players and they will be cheap because of relegation, as will Stoke. Arsenal are after Bernd Leno from Bayer Leverkusen. That's according to Sky Sports. I think they probably will get that deal over the line. They're also closing in on Sampdoria's Uruguay midfielder Lucas Torreira, who is 22, and the Socrates from Dortmund. So it looks like Arsenal could have 2 or 3 signings done very, very soon. Socrates, Torreira, Leno, they're not top level players, but I think they will improve Arsenal, and that's what Emery needs. Patience and time. He certainly does. Verratti, we were speaking about him on the United Stand last night. According to the BBC, PSG have got to raise £60 million in transfer fees by the end of June, which is literally 16 days away. So they're going to have to sell players, and somebody's going to benefit from that. Could it be United in relation to Verratti, or will it be somebody else? I actually think Verratti would suit Manchester City very, very well, actually. Just be interesting whether Raiola would deal with Pep after their little tiff during the season. However, money talks, especially with Raiola. Germany are also putting up Boateng, Vidal, Thiago, if the price is right. That was yesterday. And the agent of Moussa Dembele at Tottenham has flown to Italy to sound out interest from Serie A clubs. That's on TalkSport. There was talk of him going to China, which would be ridiculous. I'd love Moussa Dembele at my club. I think most top Premier League clubs would, but I think Spurs obviously don't want him to go to another Premier League club. But very, very good player, still only about 30, and but I think Serie A is probably where he will end up, and it'd be another good asset for them, really. Mane has come out and said that he's happy at Liverpool. Obviously, there was that talk of Madrid. I don't see that happening. And interesting as well, we were talking about it yesterday, weren't we, about the Chelsea, the Spain manager being sacked. He'll now be the Real Madrid manager. But Allegri has come out, Juventus manager, and said he was offered that job at Real Madrid, but turned it down. I mean, interesting, isn't it, for the Spanish coach? Named Real Madrid manager, sacked a Spanish coach the day before the World Cup, and then somebody comes out and said they were offered the job that you've now got. But interesting to see. The first game is a 2:30 kicked off, says Tom Charlton. I don't know what game he's talking about. It's 4 p.m. in the UK for Russia, Saudi Arabia. We're all geared it for the World Cup on this channel. Remember, we are doing every single World Cup game as a watch along, and we do it different on That's Football. We'll have the live comments, we'll have the game on, and we will just interact with each other, and we'll talk about stuff. So make sure you got your snacks ready, your beer if you drink your beer, your water if you're on the water, whatever you're on. Get onto it. We'll be live just before 4 o'clock today. So we'll be live just under 4 hours for Russia versus Saudi Arabia. That's football is football. We're not just going to cherry pick the good games. We're going to cover them all. Me and Xander have got it covered every single game on That's Football, live watch along with the live comments. It's you and us. And I can't wait. Really looking forward to it. And you know what? Russia, Saudi Arabia, it might not be the best game. You would never watch it under normal circumstances, but it's the World Cup. And we're going to cover every single game. And we want you here with us. So make sure you've subscribed to the channel, bottom right-hand corner. Click the bell, get your notifications on. We're still going to be doing Transfer Daily every day at midday. So that's still going to happen. Tomorrow, I'll be doing this at midday. And then 1 o'clock, it's Egypt, Uruguay. So quick turnaround of content on That's Football for the next month, but get involved in it, and I can't wait for the World Cup. Really looking forward to that. No news on Griezmann, Shreya, unless he turns up at the opening ceremony and flies in on a helicopter, like I said. But thanks everybody for watching. I will see you in just over 3 hours' time for the World Cup, the first game, Saudi Arabia versus Russia. Can't wait. New studio, live comments will be there. See you soon. Thanks for watching. Oh, you can click the eye in the top right hand corner. That will take you directly to the link for the Saudi Arabia-Russia game.